Yesterday I talked to you about Kundalini awakening.
How it is awakened and why it refuses to be awakened within us. Those who have come for the first time, I would like to tell them that we have a force, a germinating force, a residual force within us in this triangular bone, which is called as the Kundalini. This is the force which helps us, which gives us our second birth, called as self-realization. You can see this Kundalini pulsating in this triangular bone called as sacrum very clearly in any one of the programs of Sahaj Yoga. When there is obstruction in any person, you can see it much more clearly. You can also see the rising of Kundalini in the spinal cord. When she arrives at the end here, the fontanelle bone area, you can also hear the throbbing. When it stops, then you get your realization, your baptism. Then your awareness gets a new dimension into all-pervading power of divine love. Then your attention or your awareness, it gets into new dimension of divine power which is all pervading. The Kundalini connects you with the divine power. Today the subject is divine power and innocence. There is a great deal of discussion already available for us in our scriptures about the all-pervading power of God. But it is not easy to believe that there is such a power which can think, which can organize, which can coordinate, and which can act. Coordinates, organizes, and acts.
Organiser et d'agir.
Acts because it loves. Because of this ignorance, human beings have denied even the existence of God Almighty. But the one who has created you has also created the means to know Him. When this power here, which is a part of the divine power around, awakens and connects you with that divine power, you can start feeling from your hand the radiation of the same power. When this power connects you, that is the time when you start radiating your own spirit. Now, first of all, at the very outset, we have to know that all this knowledge is unknown to you. And to see it, you must have an open mind. As I have told you the very first day, that if I tell you anything, you should accept it as a hypothesis. And if it confirms with the proof, then you have to believe into it. Now let us see what is all-pervading power is. All-pervading power is the power of divine love of God. We can say it is the aura of God. When Almighty God is reflected in our heart, it is called as spirit or Atma. But its aura is not in our conscious mind, because our conscious mind is not enlightened enough to see the aura. When the Kundalini rises and touches the fontanelle bone or pierces the fontanelle bone, the seat of the spirit which is on top of your head gets enlightened. then the spirit gets illumined in our consciousness. In the same manner, we can feel the radiation of the spirit passing through our central nervous system. Now, these radiations are the radiations of the aura of the spirit. So they are the power of divine power, which is all pervading. The radiations are of the divine power, which is all pervading. Sometimes divine power also, after realization, starts flowing on us, on our sympathetic nervous system as grace. The divine power, all pervading divine power, also starts flowing on our head, on our sympathetic nervous system as grace. When this happens, then you feel the joy and the bliss. Why should she disturb me? Oh, funny people. They come here for realization and have no sense. Please close the door. Anybody has to go, please go now. It's not proper to disturb. It's a very serious thing we are doing. If you are interested in your self-realization, please be here. If you have no self-esteem, I do not want to force you. But this nobody does in England. It's a serious thing. It's a solemn thing. You must understand that we must have self-esteem. We must respect ourselves. This all-pervading power is anxious all the time to guide us and help us through our unconscious. This power, when it starts flowing through your hands after realization, can tell you about the absolute value of everything, because your spirit is the absolute. The rest of it is all relative. For example, if I want to know if this thing is radiating absolute or not, I have to just place my hands towards it. If it is emitting absolute, is correct, is vibrating with spiritual values, or if vibrating with divine power, it will emit vibrations towards me. For example, if somebody is a realized soul or not, you cannot make out. A thug or anybody who is a thief, you might think him to be all right, but he may be a horrible fellow. To make him out, if you just put your hands towards the person, and immediately you will know whether he is a realized soul or not, by feeling the vibrations on your hand. If you want to know about any absolute question, whether there is God or not, you just put your hands like this and ask the question, is there God or not? If you ask, is there God, vibrations will start flowing towards you with a tremendous speed, answering your question just like any very well built, what you call that, which gives answers to everything, is it? Huh? Computer. The very well built computer which answers all your questions. In the same way, any question which is absolute, if you ask, you get the answer. Sitting down here, you can find out about any friend what is the matter with his centers, as shown here. Yesterday I talked about it. If any problem you have, if you put it to the divine power, she solves it. It is not a coincidence, but it's a fact. You have to know how to put the question into the machinery of this all-pervading power. If you know exact method how to do it, you can solve any question. But after realizations, your priorities change and your problems change. For example, we had another person who knows French very well, our Regis, who was with me, was doing his PhD for years together, and he was very much troubled about it. He had finished his money and he was fed up, his patience was over, and he could not even make a book bound. He brought that to me and he said, Mother, I don't know what to do with this now. I just put my hand on the book and put this problem into thoughtless awareness of mind. Awareness, awareness without thought. You see, where there's no thought. In that area, opens the mouth of this machinery. And third day he became a doctor. I never read the book, nor did I give any advice to him. But he was all right. Like that, so many problems, even material, can be worked out. But after realization, your priorities change so much that you want to ask for the highest. You don't waste your attention on trivial things, nor do you ponder over something that is unimportant. The attention then goes in searching a complete method of Sahaj Yoga, which is the spontaneous evolutionary method. Because you become collectively conscious and you become compassionate. You feel for your other human beings. Because you have achieved your bliss and your meaning, you want others to achieve that. Your main attention is on giving others realization. For example, till this light is not enlightened, it can be used for anything else, the wax. But once it is enlightened, then it just gives light. When you become the light, you start emitting light to others.
Quand vous devenez la lumière, vous commencez à émettre de la lumière pour les autres.
Now, this all-pervading divine power is the total power within us. For example, on the right-hand side, we have got this power which works on the right sympathetic nervous system in the channel of Pingala, which helps us to look after our body and think for future, which gives us creativity. This power, this Pingala power, is made of 5 powers. These 5 powers come to us by 5 elements that have created us. The body of all these centers here is made of these 5 elements. The power that is all-pervading controls all these 5 elements. All these 5 powers, plus the power which gives us emotional life on the left hand, the desiring power, which gives us memory and our past, plus the power in the center which evolves us from amoeba to this stage, all synthesized, properly integrated in this divine power. But divine power has a power to control all these powers. After realization, if you move in a proper way, you can control all these powers. You become the master of them. Say, after realization, you can also enter into the subtleties of all the elements. For example, now this is a lamp kept here. Now this has got a fire in it. This is from the fire element, you can say. This can be awakened by putting hand towards it if you are a realized soul. By awakening it, you can make it burn the negative forces around. We have cured many mad people with the effort, with a single candle. You can cure yourself if you have any problem with your stomach by going into the sea and putting your hands towards the outside. After realization, if you soak your feet even in ordinary water with little salt in it and put your hand outside and ask the water to suck your negativity, it will. Now in this hall there are more realized souls than unrealized, those who have experimented with this. And they also know that we have cured cancer with this method and so many diseases which are called as incurable. But for that it is important that you must get connected with the all-pervading power. This all-pervading power is called as Brahma. Brahma is the truth. The rest is all illusion. We live with our illusions and myths because of our ignorance. If you come in this room in darkness, you will not be able to see anything in fullness. You may think the chair is the room, or may think this mirror is the room. But if somebody can enlighten this room, you can see the whole room. And you can relate yourself to that room. You can also find out what's wrong with you and also what's wrong with others. This is enlightenment, but enlightenment of the innocence. Innocence is the bud which gives the fragrance within us. That time we emit. The fragrance we emit is the all-pervading power. Innocence is a very, very base of our being. It is placed in this lowest center here. And this center is looked after or is governed by a deity who is the embodiment of innocence. This deity is called as Sri Ganesh. And he incarnates at that top center there as Lord Jesus Christ. Christ is the support of this universe because he is the embodiment of innocence. But what have we done of Christ? When he lived, we crucified him, and every day we are crucifying him when we are fighting our innocence. It is very hard to say these things in modern times when people think that indulging in all kinds of sex perversions is liberation. But it is very easy for us to see, if you use your intelligence, that this is no liberation but is slavery of sex. A person who comes under every car cannot be called as the driver of the car. In the same way, a man who falls for every woman on the street cannot be called as the master of himself. He is a slave of his lust. But it does not also mean that you should not have sex. That is absolutely another extreme. Sex is to be with a very sacred idea in a married life. Because marriage is a collective blessing. But people do not understand how to respect their marriage relationship. In Sahaja Yoga, we do not allow any sannyasi or any ascetic to come in. And we do not also have funny ideas like people have that the sannyasis can have sex life. Or such perversions that you take sannyas and you can go to God through sex. Sannyas means complete abstinence. Any such funny ideas like marrying Krishna or Christ is absurd. If you want to marry human beings. What's the use of marrying Christ, who is an embodiment of childhood? He doesn't know sex. Why do such insulting things to him? This is like bringing your loo into the drawing room. We are very particular about designing our house. But we are not particular about designing our life. We make a complete mess of it. And we say, what's wrong? We say, what's wrong? If there's no wrong in doing absurd sex, then why there is people feel jealous? If it is a good thing, people should feel happy about it. The society must prosper with it. But the society is going down. Nobody seems to be trusting anyone. Is it this kind of life or society is in any way enriching the children? Moreover, this kind of life leads you to horrible diseases. The nature is against it. I was surprised that in USA 65% young people suffer from horrible diseases due to sex perversions and sex habits. And in England, where I thought wise people lived, there are 2 children killed every week by the mothers themselves. What's wrong then in any such a society which is so decadent? There is some guru in India who cannot smell flowers, but he does not mind smelling the private parts of women and men. And he is very attractive to Western people, especially French. Is it our culture? Is it proper for us to do such things? Will our children have any respect for us? Why should children respect here the parents who have no self-esteem? You see, when you talk of liberation, you are just fighting your own innocence. But you cannot get your liberation. It is so called. As soon as you will try to do these things, you will be the unhappiest person ever living. You will be diseased, you will be impotent, and joy will be lost. You will become a miserable person with the cheeks drawn inside and there's no freshness on your face. The lame, miserable. Even Christ, they have made him look like that, like a lanky-panky person, so miserable. They had no sense at all to understand that how could a person who is so full of joy and happiness and innocence could be that miserable. I think there is some sort of a sadism in it, an egoistical approach to him, that you make such a great personality into a wretched some TB patient. Can such a lanky-panky fellow carry a big cross like that? One should not try to avoid the reality, but face it with bravery, because it is so beautiful, it's so grand, it's so majestic. So why not achieve that and rise in your complete humanhood? That's the way you are going to achieve it. You were given freedom to test your intelligence, to know through your intelligence that rationality is limited, to know through your enterprises that matter is enslaving you. That matter is there just to reproduce the beauty within yourself. But you lost all your wisdom in your extreme behavior. At the time of Christ, people were not that intelligent. They were naive, but they were not seekers as you are. You are seekers of ages, do you know that? But you are satisfied with your ego. You are not seeking your ego, because ego you can find it everywhere in every shop. You go and buy a cigar and smoke it and you are in ego. You drive in a big Rolls Royce, you are in an ego. You just cross all the laws, you are in your ego. Defy everyone, you are in your ego. It's very easy to achieve your full bloom of your ego covering the whole head. And then you float very nicely in some imaginary world of yours, which is called as fool's paradise, till by some trick of this all-pervading power, the balloon is pricked and you come down up on the ground. So achievement of ego has been of no use. But achieving of all-pervading power within you is the real expression of the ego of God. Because his ego is the truth, while yours is a myth. Because he does everything, you don't do anything whatsoever. And a little thing like making a chair, you feel very great about it, is all nonsense. You are made to be the instrument of that divine power. Just like this instrument is made to carry our voices. You are specially made with great care, love and respect to carry that divine power which is all-pervading, which is very subtle. This is the power that pulsates in every atom. Pulsates, throbs. Pulsate
Dans chaque atome.
in every atom. The same power pulsates in our heart. But with ego, we actually cover our heart completely. And ego makes a person an idiot. There are such idiots who think themselves to be very clever that you do not know how to stop your laughing when they talk. Like an 80-year-old man believes that an 18-year-old girl loves him. And you ask this idiot, what is he doing? He said, I have written already 30 books. On what subject? On love and romance. He is an idiot and a stupid fool. What is he going to teach anyone? The girl makes fool of him, and she has her own boyfriends. And the old man is supplying all the money for her fun. And the idiot thinks he's very generous. There is no end to idiocy. A man who is not wise he cannot be called intelligent. Intelligence, unless and until it is wisdom, has no value. Without wisdom, the ungirdled intelligence can befool you. The all-pervading power plays tricks and makes idiots of these people. They are respected for a short time when they die out as fools. So our intelligence must tell us that truth can be only found through going into the unlimited area of all-pervading power. And this rationality is a limited thing, and we have to be triggered into that area which is unlimited. Some happening has to take place within us. And all those great sages and prophets who have talked about your rebirth must be something happening. These things were said by many sages before also. But they said it from the 10th story. The rest of them were on the ground floor. They couldn't see what they were seeing at the 10th story. So they tried to torture or kill them. But this Sahaja Yoga, this modern Sahaja Yoga, you can say Sahaja Yoga now, is at a stage where it gives you self-realization to masses, so that you start seeing beyond, that you start knowing that there is something beyond, and feeling that you have become different. It is the actualization of the experience which is important, and you should ask for that. But it is not meant for mediocres. If you are a real true seeker, you will get it, and you will retain it. If you are a true seeker, I'll give every drop of my blood for it, because I am born for that. But the seeking has to be sincere and true. You cannot purchase me with any money or with any show. Only through your sincerity of seeking you can bind me permanently to yourself. This has to happen today or tomorrow to thousands of people. This is the breakthrough which we were expecting all these years. And this is what is before you today. As soon as you get your self-realization, the manifestation of the powers of self, of yourself, starts acting. But you have to know how it works and do it seriously. But most of the people, they come to me as if they are going for guru shopping. This is absolutely a different stuff. Here you have to receive your self-realization, you have to become self-realized, and you have to establish yourself. And to become fully self-realized, to manifest it. There is no other consideration. Supposing you are rich or poor, I don't want to know. Whether educated or uneducated is not necessary. Belonging to the labor class or to a rich class, it makes no difference. Whether you are from a black race or a white or a brown or a blue race makes no difference. As long as you are a human being who is seeking God, you will have your self-realization. That's my job. I'll work hard because I'm determined about it. But you also must have determination. Once you have achieved it, you will be amazed how beautiful you are. You will start seeing the beauty that I see in you. The other day we had somebody who was arguing with me. He said, everybody is God. I said, who has told you that? He said, I believe in it. I said, who is this I? This is all mental. It's nice to believe that everybody is God and I am the God's Lord. There is God in everything, but God is to be discovered. There is God in a chicken, but I am not going to give realization to chickens. It is too far-fetched. But that is how people escape the reality. Like the gentleman was saying that Hitler is also God. You cannot insult God like that. If there is somebody satanic, then his God is discovered by punishing him. It would be like honoring people who crucified Christ. There's no discrimination, there's no sense of understanding. There should be some sense of propriety when you talk. The sympathy should be with the people who need your compassion, but not with the people who are aggressed. If you do all that, then you will be punished and those who are cruel will be punished too. This is what the divine power does to us. In India, the Rakshasas or the devils who were born on this earth used to beg for one thing, that they should be killed by an incarnation, so that their sins would be forgiven by one punishment, sort of compensated by that punishment. They would go to the extreme of sinful behavior just to get to that point where incarnation would kill them. But a saint, a seeker, is a sensible person. He achieves all that he wants through the grace of God, because God wants him to have all the powers which are divine, because God is your Father and he wants to bestow all his powers unto you. But these powers cannot be given by any elected body like a church or a theological college. Priest cannot give you baptism. This authority has to come to a person who is born with this love. Such a person is a king. Nothing can tempt such a person. Nothing is higher or lower for this person. Such a person can sleep on the street or in the palaces. Such a person has no fear of any kind. When Christ supported Mary Magdalene, he was not afraid of the crowds because he was sinless, but he had compassion for her. We should not confuse matters. Only after realization, when you get your vibrations, you will know that you cannot confuse. As soon as you try to confuse, you will lose your vibrations. And with this new vibratory awareness, you will know what is the absolute and what is not. And then only you will know how powerful you are. Your whole life will be filled with joy. And first time you will enjoy another personality. We had taken some people to India from England. Simple Indian villagers. So overjoyed to see the foreigners coming in. They hugged all of them and kissed them, fed them. And then they started feeling the vibrations of the foreigners. And they were enjoying themselves as if they were sitting in a big lotus flower. For the first time, you would find any Indian enjoying the foreigners. Otherwise, they are frightened of them. They are literally afraid of seeing a foreigner, especially the women of India. But the women cooked for them, prepared their baths, arranged for them to have their food, then prepared their beds, put oil in their heads, and made them sleep. Such love that flows is the greatest thing a mother can enjoy. There is no rationality for this. It's sheer joy and bliss. So we have to rise and become one with that all-pervading power which resides in every heart of human beings. You feel it flowing from you. And when you feel it, you know what is happening to you. This is spontaneous. You cannot do it. It is within you, built in, innate, and it works out. We have among us here some people who were in the lunatic asylum, and they are completely cured. You can't make them up. We had great alcoholics and druggists with us. They just gave up everything because they have become master of themselves and they enjoy themselves. You never get bored with yourself then. Whether you are alone or in their company, it's all joy. This is going to change the whole universe. It is going to transform this world into the new world that is being talked of. This is the first time I have come to Paris. The response has been nice. There have been people coming and getting realization. Some are repeaters. Some are repeating, coming every day. Some came for only one day and went away. But as you know, after germination of a seed, it must be looked after. Otherwise, it would be wasted. So they should have at least attended these 4 days. But in any case, we have here Mari. She is one of the first disciples I had in London, and she has dedicated her life to this work. I would request you all to help her to spread Sahaja Yoga. Those who get realization will be deepening their being and will be helping others on the periphery. So many are seeking, so many are deceived,
gens qui sont
so many are misguided. It is now our great duty to salvage all of them. This is very important. Don't be misguided by your ego. You must think of people how they are lost. You must learn how to swim and save others. It's all free, full of love. So take advantage of it. A river starts like a small stream. In other countries like India and England, we have many Sahajogis. We have to see now what French have to offer. If you have any questions, you can ask today, because yesterday I had said that if you have any questions. For about 5-10 minutes, not more. And do not be argumentative. Please come here. These new people can come down here, will be a good idea. The gentleman who is there.
He says, aren't you afraid that if you show the Western person that there's something to be discovered, that he should appropriate it for himself instead of becoming it?
Yes, you should. You should, definitely. But what is your instrument?
You should.
Discover, but what is your instrument? How?
He says there are several instruments, but the important is that it shouldn't be ego.
Shouldn't be ego, all right. Then, first of all, you should know that you have nothing to offer me. All right? All right. So, the second thing is that you have to ascertain it. Why? Are you afraid of me? You are. He's not. Then it is very simple. You enter into that area and see for yourself. I am saying you have to experiment. But with these eyes, you cannot feel. With these hearts, you cannot feel that all-pervading power. You have to get enlightened. This is a gap which you have to cross.
He says, but he's afraid that in the West it should be used, the becoming that you have to give should be used for material ends and not for becoming inside.
Haven't you got sufficient material things just to bother your heads? Already people are committing suicide in Sweden, even in Switzerland. You want to go to that limit? Oh.
He says that there is around us a great wave of spiritual materialism which creates a comeback of materialism and also suicide, which makes a comeback, a sort of return of suicides and materialism.
He means to say there's a very big grip of matter, isn't it? He means to say that. Very correct. So you have to become a master of that. That's what I'm doing.
He says he's not speaking about your teaching. He says, but about the way in which it's read and received.
Oh, people. People. No, there are many beautiful people also.
Yes.
He says, yes, of course, but people can fall as well.
They will, first few of you have to come up. Then the rest will see how happy you are. Even materially enriched, because it is yoga, kshema, vayama. After yoga, you get your kshema also, well-being comes in to you. When people will see that, they will also be transformed. Because satisfaction comes in them. Telling me that. What's he saying?
He says that, yes, but again, this material well-being is misguiding because the important thing is to be that and not the material side of it.
You can overpower it by flowing all-pervading power through your being. That's the only way you can do it. When the Kundalini awakens, you see, when the Kundalini, which is here, when it awakens, your attention is attracted inside. Is taken from outside, attracted inside. And when it goes through that center, this center here, it gives you a sense of great satisfaction within, which overcomes your material greed. Meghalaya. Not only that, but the blessing of this center works out also your material needs. In the sense that we have tried experimenting with the vibration, say, on the wheat that grows in India. And when we tried that, we found it was 5 times more growing and sweeter and tastier than normal. In the universities, agricultural universities. There are so many ways by which you are blessed by the grace of the divine power. Very good question. I was very happy with your question.